and welcome, weary traveler, to episode 57 of the Heavy NFLD official podcast. On this episode, we are doing something very special, which, I know I say that in pretty much every episode, but that's because every single episode of this show that I do, we have a gimmick. And the gimmick for this episode is that we're going to be taking a look at a bunch of bands that my band Mistwalker and my friend's band Obelisk played with while we were on the road back in August during the Atlantic Annihilation tour. Yes, we traveled all the way across the Maritimes and other parts of eastern Canada as we sought to bring the most devastating heavy riffage to your ear holes. And we're going to play a bunch of songs from bands that span Quebec, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, PEI, and we're actually not going to do Newfoundland, but interestingly enough, we are going to do Mexico, of all places. So, I hope you enjoy, strap yourselves in, and prepare to be devastated sonically. Starting off, we're going to play a song for a band called S.W.E.A.T. Now, that is S.W.E.A.T as an acronym, so S.W.E.A.T. These guys are super cool. They're all very good friends of mine. They're a raw D-beat band from here in Montreal, and they actually just released their debut EP literally like 2 or 3 days ago. We played with them at a house show here at my own apartment, which we have designated the Rat Trap, and that was technically a fundraiser show to kind of kick off the tour before we actually hit the road in August. We did this show back in July, like right at the end of July. So we're going to go ahead and play that song right now. This track is called You Are Only Free When You Are Dead, once again by S.W.E.A.T from the EP S.W.E.A.T Songs. Okay, so what you just heard was Sweat with You're Only Free When You Are Dead, followed by Obey Your System by the band Tunt, who are from Trois-Rivières, Quebec, and that was followed by Grey by the band Sedmi, who is from Quebec City. Tunt, they are good friends of ours. Their vocalist, David, me and him used to play together in a death metal band here in Montreal called Heldon that unfortunately broke up before the pandemic happened. So it was cool to see him again and play together at Tavern Royale in Trois-Rivières. Sedmi, they are also friends of ours. We've actually played with them one time before with Mistwalker. That was in the city of Sherbrooke in Quebec. They are an insanely good grindcore band. If you ever get a chance to go see them live, do it. They'll tell you that they're a bunch of old guys who don't have that much energy anymore and don't really work on music, but they're the nicest dudes. We ended up crashing at their drummer Bill's place that night. Had a great party in Quebec City. Fucking love those guys. Shout out to Sedmi. Up next, we are going to listen to a song by a band called Messe. That's Messe. They are a stoner psychedelic rock band that we played with in Bathurst, New Brunswick, which, if you don't know, Bathurst is in the northeastern quadrant of that province. It's a very Acadian region, so you hear a lot of French up there still. And we're going to play a song by them called Sceance Tenante, which is from their one and only EP that you can find on Bandcamp. If you want to search them up, search Messe Le Groupe. That's how you find their Bandcamp. So we're going to go ahead and play that song for you right now.
Je regarde de l'autre côté du verre que nos séances tenantes, que nos finir une chandelle oubliée au creux du marécage, étendue au pied des vagues, avant de voir un autre demain. Qui ne s'inventent même pas, mais se partent-ils à eux-mêmes ou partent-ils à vous? Toujours debout ici, année après année, année après année, année après année.
Wicked and sick, a slave to sin. Death rider, blood in flames, wasted on poison. I wear my demons on my sleeve, crucified to the bottom. All hell is in my hands. Taste the fire, alcohol, and misery. Alcohol and misery. Symbols of God forever rot in my path. Inebriate obsession, blood pollution, taking what is mine, leave the rest for the rats. Unchained and bowing, I laugh at the gods. Alcohol and misery. Alcohol and misery. Drowning here in blood and booze, demon, you can follow you.
Okay, so what you just heard was Sceance Tenante by Messe, followed by Alcohol and Misery by Ritual Warfare, who I have to say, definitely one of the most intense and awesome bands that we played with on that entire tour. Man, those guys are fucking incredible. Real nice dudes, too. We played with them at Radstorm in their hometown of Halifax, and that show was definitely one of the best ones that we played on the whole tour. So, now that we've gone through about half the show, it is time for story time. So, I want to relay to you guys this interesting tale of tragedy and woe that happened to us in New Brunswick. So, after our show at the Bathurst Southside Lounge in Bathurst, New Brunswick, we left and we headed out to this place in a town called Sunny Corner, which is still in the Acadian part of New Brunswick, but a little bit further south. It's about an hour outside of Bathurst, and that put us a little bit closer to Halifax so that the drive the next day wasn't so bad. Actually to Charlottetown, because that's where we were going after Bathurst. So the thing is about this area is, first of all, we had a lot of trouble finding somebody to crash with in Bathurst itself, and that's why we had to leave. But also, the highway out there is maggoty with moose. There are moose everywhere. We didn't see moose anywhere else on this entire tour except on the highway in and out of Bathurst, both during the day when we were on our way there and at night when we were leaving. So, Mistwalker, we pack up our stuff. We're getting ready to go. And the guys from Obelisk are packing up their stuff, and we leave, and we figure, they're going to be right behind us by about 5 minutes. So we get to the guy's place that we're staying at. His name is Billy, by the way. Shout out Billy from the Shred Shed in New Brunswick. Go follow the Shred Shed NB on Instagram, as well as his band, $10 Meatbags. Those guys were super nice. Thank you so much for putting us up for the night, by the way. And we get to this guy's place. It's this shed. It's got like all these skateboards like nailed to the front, so you can immediately tell like, yeah, this is 100% the place that we have to stay at. And we meet the guy, we chat for a bit, and then we set up for the night. And again, we thought Obelisk was going to be right behind us, but half an hour goes by, 45 minutes, an hour, hour and a half, and now I'm starting to get worried. I'm starting to freak out a little bit because, again, this was the only place on the entire tour where we saw moose everywhere on the highway. Big ones, too, like full-grown adult bull moose. So my immediate thought was like as time started to go by and I realized, like, man, they should have been here like an hour ago. I thought, oh my god, they hit a fucking moose. They're dead on the side of the road. I called them, I texted them, all three of them, and I didn't get a single answer or response from any of them. So I was losing my mind. Aaron, my bassist, told me, like, you got to calm down, you got to chill out, like, they're going to be fine. And I said, okay, and we went to bed. I woke up about 5 o'clock in the morning to their van pulling in. And keep in mind, we arrived there probably about 2 o'clock. So several hours had gone by this point. And when we woke up the next morning, they told us the tale of what happened. Basically, Google Maps, for some reason, decided to lead them off of the highway and onto a dirt road. That dirt road eventually turned into a logging camp, which eventually turned into a skidoo trail, and eventually that skidoo trail just ceased to exist, and they were just in the woods. Keep in mind, too, they were in a rented Dodge Caravan that was loaded down with, like, 2 cabs and a bunch of other equipment, and, a vehicle that is not built for off-roading, just stuck in the middle of the woods. And it took them a couple of hours to actually get out of that and find their way back to the highway. And, yeah, when we got up the next morning and we looked at the van, you could see it was covered in, like, mud and, limbs from the woods and stuff. It looked like they had been through hell. I felt so bad for those guys, but thankfully nothing bad really happened. It was just a bit of a harrowing experience. There was, no one was hurt. Everything was fine. It was just kind of like a few hours of panic that didn't really lead to much. So that was probably the most eventful thing that happened on this tour, but a little bit later in the show I'll regale you with another tale of something crazy that happened. In the meantime, though, we are going to continue playing some songs. We're going to go ahead with the other band that we played with in Halifax, because we did 2 shows in Halifax, the first one being at Radstorm, the second at Good Robot Brewing Company, which makes pretty good beer, if I do say so myself. This band is called Mutated Void. They actually played in Montreal earlier this year, which is how we found out about them. And we're going to play a song from their most recent EP called Slash the Altar, and it is the title track from that EP, once again by Mutated Void from Halifax. Okay, so what you just heard was Slash the Altar by Mutated Void, followed by Miserable by Medvsa, and Agonia by Electrika. Once again, Mutated Void, we played with them in Halifax at the Good Robot Brewing Company. That was also a really great show. Their set was like 15 minutes long of just pulverizing raw D-beat. They're a really incredible band. Highly recommend you check out all their material and catch them live if you get a chance to. Medvsa and Electrika, on the other hand, are two bands from Mexico that we played with in Sherbrooke, Quebec, thanks to Vomit Productions and Kevin Vomit. That show was also joined by Raped God 666, who are a three-piece black and thrash outfit that I personally really, really liked. Unfortunately, their drummer, he didn't make it to the show, so they had like a backing track for that, but even in spite of him not being there, they still killed it, and we're going to play a song from them next. But before we get to that, we're actually going to go over another little story from this tour that I felt like I would share with you guys. So, I already relayed one experience to you of the guys from Obelisk just totally fucking things up by getting lost in the woods in the middle of the night. Very, very strange stuff. Well, it sort of happened again that they would have bad luck with their vehicle. So Will, who is the live bassist for Obelisk, or he was for this tour, he's not actually a full-time member of the band. He just joined them on this tour because John, the actual bassist, couldn't come. He has a cabin outside of Sherbrooke, and we had a day off in between our date in St. John, New Brunswick, and the Sherbrooke show. So, after a St. John show, we drove to this cabin outside of Sherbrooke, and we stayed there for 2 nights. The first night that we got there, I drove my vehicle up to the top of this hill, and we parked it, and everything was fine. And then Sam, the drummer for Obelisk, he drives their rental up behind us, but he kind of hesitates on where to park, and he ends up getting stuck on the hill. Now keep in mind, this is a road that is not paved, and it is a hill that is covered in grass, and it had been piss and rain this whole weekend. So, he stops at the top of the hill, doesn't really know which way to go, and then when he tries to go again, the tires just start spinning mud, to the point where he can't get any traction whatsoever. So Will gets in, he backs the vehicle down to the bottom of the hill, tries to turn it around to reverse back up the hill, but in the process of doing that, he ends up out in the woods, and the fucking van just gets stuck in the woods, like, all night. It was unbelievable. Like, there was no way of getting that thing out. So we just kind of left it for that night. The next day, we go out there, and we spent probably about 2 hours going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, trying to get this thing out of the mud pit. Eventually it worked, but not without all of us getting coated and caked in mud, and definitely doing a lot of strenuous effort to try and get that thing out. It was crazy. Then we played the show, went back to the cabin, stayed the night, and the next day we headed back to Montreal. But the next morning, when we were leaving, us and Mistwalker, I took my van, we started driving, we got it to the road, and I said to myself, we should really wait here, because what if they get stuck again? Now, that was a joke. I didn't mean that seriously. But I had a sneaking suspicion, And lo and behold, not 2 minutes after I said that, Tristan, the guitarist of Obelisk, texts me, and he says, "We're fucking stuck again." Thankfully, the second time, it wasn't as hard to get them out. It took like all of 5 minutes. They just somehow ended up in a ditch out there. I don't know. It was a hilarious experience all around. That van definitely saw a lot of action and definitely got the use that those guys paid for it out of it. I have so many stories from this tour, but those two about the van and the guys in Obelisk driving it, those two are definitely the top ones. So, with that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and play the last 2 tracks that we have lined up for tonight. The first is going to be The Eyes of Hate by Raped God 666, once again, black and thrash trio from Mexico. And then we're going to end things off with a track from Obelisk as well, a song called Maggot Christ off of their recently released full-length album, The Architecture of Suffering. So, hope you guys enjoyed listening to this installment of the Heavy NFLD official podcast, and I will see you in the next one. Till then, peace out.
Die.